And if I periodically
Oh, hey, what's going on? What's going on, everyone? It's Courtney Rollins from the Aqua Team. This is the Capacity to Be REI meetup, where every third Thursday we come and we interview or chat with someone from the world of real estate investing, usually from underrepresented populations, to show us that there are many ways that you can find and reach your goals through real estate investing. Each week we try to, or each month we try to bring someone along who's totally awesome, totally cool, and that we can learn from and we can share their journey. So we're very excited for the guest that we have today. Just to let you know, I am again Courtney Rollins, CEO of Aqua Team Properties, founded with Shanita Melvin, who is here on the line as well. What's up, Shanita?
Hey, everybody.
We are wholesalers out here in Baltimore. So if you're wholesaling, which is, finding discounted properties, and what you do from there really is up to you, selling it or signing the contract, holding on to it. There are many ways that you can dispose and do things with the property. But if you're interested in doing anything in Baltimore, hit us up. We love to work with folks. If you want to work on our deals, check our links out, check our deals out, and chat with us. And we love to work with you. If you're want some advice, or if you want to give us advice, we'd love to learn with you. We'd be a part of your journey. So please hit us up. We're on all those Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff, YouTube, all that good stuff. We are live on Facebook here too. So if you're out there in the Facebook world, please share your comments, interact, and hopefully we'll be able to get to you and connect. So I think that's all the housekeeping. Without further ado, we're bringing on here Miss Tia Richards this week. How are you doing, Miss Tia?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh, feeling awesome, Tia. So glad to put you on the hot seat in the hot box here, the Capacity to Be meetup. And we're going to start off like we normally start off, like with Tia. Who is Tia, and how did you get into the world of real estate investing?
Wow.
I have two big questions.
Right. Yeah. So the interest came probably like 20 years ago. I know.
Baby.
It was, those late night infomercials, and like, you can get these grants and you can buy houses with no money down, the Colton sheets, everybody. That's like long ago. But but in the middle,
you don't know about the Carlton sheets. Yeah.
Right. And it really intrigued me, and I always wanted to know how to do it. And sometimes you're like, is it a gimmick? And so I started picking up, going to some of they would have seminars in Baltimore, at the convention center, at wherever, hotels and that type of thing. And, and they will always give you just enough to bait you in, but never really give you the full meat and potatoes. And it was like, I get it. And I understood that it could be money that be made the way they did it. Not sure if it was actually that way, but, at the end of those little infomercials or seminars or whatever, you would go to the back and it was like a program for $6,000 to know the rest.
Right?
And it was like, what? And you sat through that and you kind of get it. And each one you go to, it reveals a little more, but just still never enough. So I kind of like swayed away from it, but always was interested. I was like, wow, I'm not gonna have enough money to do this and do that. So a few years later, I came across a real estate investment school that was locally. And I was like, a real estate investment school? And I was like, a brick and mortar that I can go to? Like, I was intrigued, like blown away. So they had little infomercial sessions on Tuesday nights. So I went one Tuesday. Every Tuesday is the same information, just a different crowd of people. Okay. I was there like 4 Tuesdays. They was like, ready to,
deep in that knowledge.
Ready to join yet? Right.
So
but at the end, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but so you said this was a real estate investing school, not like real estate license or
no
residential side. Wow, very interesting. Yes.
Yeah. So this is so now we're looking at like, this is like now 2000, maybe 2005. So it was a real estate investment school. So it was like on Tuesday. So I went on Tuesday, and they were talking about wholesaling. Didn't call it wholesaling, but that's what they were doing. And I was just like, wow, what are they talking about? So I went another Tuesday, and I already know they said $20,000 to join the school or whatever. And I was like, I couldn't do that either. At the time, I was a single mom and, just figuring life out. And I knew I had to stay working. I was like, I got to figure this out. So on like the third Tuesday, it was ran by all men. I said, they need some help around here. Let me see if they need some help at this school. So when I asked, they was, So when I asked, they was like, yeah, sure. Can you come on evenings? I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. So I came in and I started learning about wholesaling. And of course, it wasn't called wholesaling. And I became what they called then a bird dogger.
Okay.
So yeah, so I was the bird dogging, which what we have now, people going out to look at properties, bringing properties back. But they had a sister company upstairs that was an auction company. So I was bird dogging to bring properties back to the auction company, and then I would get a percentage off of every property that I brought. So I was just bringing properties, and back then, this is 2005. So people are like, "What are you doing? Like, are you a real estate agent?" I was like, They was, and I was doing the whole thing. I would go interview the people for their houses. I would get, the square footage, look around, get pictures, see what they wanted for the property, all of that, and we're just bringing it back. But I got 10%. I got 10% for doing that, and actually whatever price that it went for at auction, you earned a percentage of that too. Oh, wow. And he was, and it was like. And I was the only one that looked like me that was that was working there. I mean, a lot of people were coming to the Tuesday classes to get more information, but I was the only one that looked like me that worked there. So it was a little guy. He was a poor family, Jewish family that grew up down in Sandtown, and they were poor, and he got big. So he was teaching me the ropes and things that he did. So I was like, oh, I gotta be plugged in. So this is So right. So I was bird dogging for a while, working. Still didn't know now, and I was wholesaling, but that's basically what it was. And so, I fell off for a while, stopped doing it. I moved away to Atlanta. And when I went to Atlanta, I started wholesaling again, but this time commercial properties, because I got plugged in with someone wholesaling commercial properties. And I was like, what?
Oh,
so it was just like
apartments. And were they apartments, or were they like different mixed use?
They were apartments, mixed use, 5 units and more. Oh, wow. So they were 5 units or more. And then he was teaching me, actually, it's actually easier to buy these multifamilies than it is a single family home. And that just kind of intrigued me. And I was like, how is that so? And and then it became easier and easier. And then I realized, I didn't have the capital to actually, buy these were like hotels and small apartments, 5, 10, 50, 120 units. I was doing good just wholesaling those. I knew eventually that's what I wanted to do, was to get into buying those. But at this point, wholesaling was good for me. But then I started tapping into more what was going on back in Baltimore, what was going on at home. And I said, once my son graduated school, that I would get back into real estate full time anyway. So I started to keep up what was going on at home. And to rewind back, I was always following when the redevelopment was happening in Baltimore. I worked at Hopkins for like 15 years. So at Hopkins used to have meetings, community meetings. I was the only one that looked like me that went to those two. In the hospital, they had meetings. And what's going on right now, 15 years ago, they had a diagram and a board and everything, architectural designs on the table, that what was going to happen now. And I was like, where is this going to be? I was like, Waterfalls and Old Town Mall. I don't know what they're talking about. this was all laid out. So I just kept following it. While I was in Atlanta, I was on the city meetings. I received the Baltimore Sun while I was down there. And, so many times that the redevelopment was supposed to happen in Baltimore, but it never did. And it was like kickstart. Right. But this time, when I had always had boots on the ground here, people sending me stuff. And like for all of my family who work Uber, Instacart, Lyft, they all work for me. They all work for me. I just sit home and they just send me like 20 houses a day. Yeah. Oh yeah, because they're already out riding around.
Right.
So listen, send me a property. I get something under contract, give your $1,000 referral fee. We good. Right. So I just sit home, my phone just be ringing all day, like Instacart, Uber. And then my son's friends, they was like, Miss Tia, can you teach us wholesaling? Miss Tia, can you teach us? I was like, okay. So they would be at my house on Zoom calls them. And then my husband would be like, yes, you in there with your son's friends? I was like, yeah, we're doing. He was like, okay. So he came in. He came in and sat in one day. He was like, oh, you really teaching them? Yeah, and they're really paying me. So, leave us alone. And that's how anybody who wanted to learn or wanted to do it, I was willing to share. And that's just how it was. Because I remember when we got into the game, so much information was withheld that it was like, and we all, no one person can buy it all. No one person can have it all. And it's still, any way that you do it, different tactics, it still will never be the way that you do it. So I was like, and I figured more people and young people need to know that this could be done. But I also teach them to do it ethically, honestly, and that type of thing. And you'll get more referrals and you'll have a better life in the game, doing it that way.
Oh, it's a small world. Even
Yeah.
not just small to more, it's even outside. There's just the world of real estate or investing in general. And if
Yeah.
if you're out for, it's a short-lived life, it seems like from what I'm hearing, from learning.
Yeah, yeah. And for a lot of people, because things are forever changing. So you have to change with it. You have to change with the game. You think when the even though I was there in Atlanta, I still was keeping up what was going on in Baltimore. And I was a property underwriter in Atlanta. And so I I was keeping track on what happened in Baltimore. And someone called me one day and was like, Hopkins just acquired the land. When Hopkins got the land for Perkins
Yeah.
Project, I put in my 2 weeks notice at work and came back.
All right, so John Hopkins is a huge, as if folks probably out there, huge university. They own pretty much all of Baltimore, and what Tia was doing is really keeping her ear deep on the like market analysis and keeping an eye on what's looking like in the future. And
Yeah.
it sounds like it's paying off.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
you gave. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. I'm just sitting here taking notes. I'm just making sure that I got like 20 different points to unpack or to ask about. But I don't want to. Are you still on your? Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you. You're sharing dropping gems.
Yeah. So I was just saying that when I was notified that Hopkins was finally able to acquire the Perkins projects, which people don't know, they have been trying to acquire that land for the last 20 years. As I said, I was working there for 15 years, and during that 15-year term, they were trying to acquire that land, and I've never able to get it.
Wow.
So yeah, so I knew it. I had they structured the East Baltimore redevelopment plan. So they are like the head of that, along with, of course, they connected with like the 4 pillar churches and the areas that they want to cover. So I had, every time they redid their East Baltimore redevelopment map, I had it like plastered on my wall. I was like, I had dots.
That's what I'm talking about. So,
I was like, they're already here. They're already built here. I was like, below Fayette Street, they already redid that like 10 years ago. So only way they can go is up, because everything below Fayette is already done, and Harbor East was already done. So it's nowhere for them to go but to go up. And right above them is 21213. So in their redevelopment plan, real small, like on the last page, it says each phase, they want everything from Hopkins Hospital to Johns Hopkins University that's within eyesight to be redone. Wow. So that's when we get the whole Patterson Park, Broadway, North Avenue, that whole thing. So I started going there first. As soon as I got here, I started going there, acquiring properties, wholesaling properties in those areas, because I already knew what was coming.
Wow, that's a smart. I mean, one thing that's so awesome about what you're doing, because it may sound intimidating, her level or Tia's level of like depth and understanding with this, and we just gotta know that this is stuff that's been accumulated over not just years, but also putting yourself out there. You heard from the very beginning, like, hey, I'm going to this meetup every Tuesday, or this thing called meetup back there. This REI, what we call it, this, just REI. It wasn't an association, but
No, it was they were trying to recruit people to go to their school,
because it was right.
Because they had a real estate investing school, and they were trying to recruit people to go to that. Yeah,
but
and they were using
Tuesday.
like. Yeah, every Tuesday evening is a time for you to come in and get information with the schoolers about what they can teach you and that type of thing, and their systems and all of that. But to get more in depth, of course, you have to join and this type of thing. So, but he's been there.
But I think the lesson that your example is showing is how to just put yourself out there with, and how, over time, this is how you have just this depth and breadth of knowledge and information. There's a couple of things that I wanted to pull for. Well, one, also, you can study the history of city developments to know what to be looking for. And you already said a few things, like the big players in the area, what are they vying for? What areas are they looking for? Can you dogtail or pigtail on them and there to know what areas are going to be sought after or coveted if you're either wholesaling or trying to acquire investment properties on your own? That is amazing. That is so awesome. I'm gonna go back a couple of things. Just one, you did explain bird dogging as far as like going out and finding properties for folks. But can you tell me more about like what that looked like in that day? How were you finding those properties? Were you knocking on doors? Where were you finding these properties?
Well, it's what they call now driving for dollars, but it was yeah. So back in 2005, I was driving for dollars and didn't even know it, because all I knew is that I earned a premium and a commission on whatever I brought back to the house. So I was everywhere I went, I was just looking. And then on top of that, since I worked at Hopkins, I had printed out some flyers and let people know that there's a real estate investment school. So the people who were there, if they wanted to be in the school, because I also, they recruited a recruiter that looked like me, a female recruiter, said, do you want to be my assistant recruiter too? I was like, oh yeah, I can do that too. And so she was like, yeah, you're already at Hopkins. I was like, so I was putting up flyers, and I worked in the residency program, and I also worked with, other colleagues and stuff, and I was just letting them know and having them at least come to the Tuesday evening session so they could hear for themselves and see, because what people don't understand is there is no real estate investment school brick and mortar. That's what intrigued me, because everybody was selling CDs and selling tapes. There is no school. There is no other school.
I dig it. It's like bringing people in a carousel every Tuesday.
Because again, everyone was seeing these late night infomercials about this information. People were going to these hotel seminars about this information. But remember, at the end of those sessions, those people flew back to California, flew back to Texas, wherever they came from, and they were just doing so to have one here in our home city is like huge for the people who got it. Like, even if they get your money, they're not flying back anywhere. You can still go there tomorrow and go there today. And it was open up to students 24 hours. And it's still there.
So let me make sure I'm understanding you correct. So you're saying the real estate investing school doesn't exist. So doesn't exist, or it was because it was just a series of various people sharing, or it didn't exist because it didn't have a specific curriculum, or I'll make sure I'm hearing you correct.
No, back when we were learning this in real estate investing, it was all, from other people on TV and things like that. And you had to buy the sessions and buy the tapes and learn. There was no physical person that you would be able to go to every day. There was no place that you can go and sit, and have that information poured into you where you can ask questions back. Because their thing was, once you bought the system, that was it. You pretty much learned on your own. You didn't really hear from them again. They gave you some 1-800 number if you have any problems to, call, and they were least helpful. They were, but it was, but it was never like a brick and mortar. I'm talking about like a school, like Morgan. You just sit in there and you can just go there, and anything you need help with, deals, systems. If you didn't understand something, somebody was there to break it down, everything. And that was like unheard of.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing. And that's the thing I think, folks who are out here who are whatever level you are, even if there's not a brick and mortar school, finding people out there that are doing it, that you can model around, that you can add value to, whether it's bird dogging or they stepping in and say, hey, what's up? How can I help? And you did mention a couple of times, Tia, that, people didn't look like me, or I was the only one that looked like in the space. Can you say more about that? And what was that like? And what mentality did you feel like you had to have to be able to continue to succeed like you are?
Well, it was, you just have to get it, and, to get people to get it. Sometimes you have to put it in layman's terms, and some people think, oh, well, I can't do that, or those people are just doing that, or because they are X, Y, and Z, this color, or that they have access to this. But the only division that was between us was the lack of knowledge of doing this. That was and if you notice, they always held on to it so tight in the game. Back then they weren't releasing any. You would see infomercials, buy houses, no money down. That's about as far as it would go.
I hear you. And that's so, that is so foreign. I feel so blessed to enter. I'm not a young guy. I'm a young guy, but I'm very young when it comes to real estate, and we're young when it comes to real estate investing. So stepping in, I'm in the age of the information age where, YouTube University, where you can get in trouble that way. But everybody is like adding value, and they're fortunate enough. A lot of people are go-give. Of course, there's some bad players and bad actors out there.
Right.
But I can think back to the almost esoteric, stage, what does that mean back in the day when it was just, just tapes, or just where it was easier to hoard knowledge. And so I gotta just have a moment of gratitude in my mind, because so many people I know we've come across, or like you were, showing hey, this is what I'm doing. There's nothing that you don't know. It's just, or it's nothing, no secrets. It's just stuff you don't know.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. You said it was easier to wholesale apartments, or not apartments, but commercial spaces. Can you say more about that?
Well, not as far as wholesale. Well, wholesale too, but more so purchase.
Oh, I got
buy and purchase. It was easier to buy and purchase than it was to get a single family home. And a lot of people didn't know that, didn't realize that, or never even considered something on that level, because I did it backwards. I did the bird dogging when, early on. And then once I left, I did the wholesale and commercial apartments, but then I reeled it back and went back to single family homes once I came back here. But it was actually easier because when I found out as far as purchasing multifamilies and commercial loans are different, and you don't really need to go to the bank for those. Lenders are willing to give you money more for multifamily than they are a single family home, because they're going off the value of their property.
Right.
They're not really going off your credit. And what do you have to bring to the table? That's not what they, because you default on this loan, you don't work. We have an income producing property on multiple levels. So you didn't have to go through that whole spill. And lenders were more open to, how much, what's the cap rate, price per door, how much are you, what's your NOI, what are you bringing in this property, or what could be the possibilities and how much this property is worth.
That's a great point. Yeah. Oh, sorry, please.
No, I was saying, just whereas though with the single family home, you need to bring this to the table because that's a one income producer.
Got you. And if you have this property that the value is based on or subject to the market, which could be very subjective as far as who sets the comps in the area, as opposed to value that's based on what's the net operating expense or divided by the expenses.
Yep.
That means you could have two commercial properties standing right beside each other, looking just alike, and one's valued way more than the other just based on what the value is. So you go to a financial institution or a financial partner, they're going to see that very sound, as opposed to some of the subjectivity, I guess, that could be in residential property.
Because when you're going for a single family home, they're looking at your personal credit, and they want the ARV of the property and the comps of that property. Whereas though the income that you're receiving becomes valid for multi-units, that's used as your income, the income that you're receiving from your tenants, along with the value of that property.
Oh, well, yeah. So that's where getting into, like, how do I add value to it? How do I around in intelligent ways?
How can I add
some kinetic chess? That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to just dig in. I got more questions, but I also want to just let folks know, if you have any questions or you want to folks chime in, please start throwing them into the comments, and we'll open up the you can unmute yourself and all that stuff before we keep as we keep going. Just want to let people know that is, we definitely want to hear from you all. And I'm looking at my notes. I obviously got chicken. I can't even read my notes over here. Only person in the room. Oh, adding value. Yeah. So when you thought about adding value, like, how did you see, like, almost like a linebacker, how did you know what hole to fill if you were entering the space where you're like, I don't really know anything? How do I like, if somebody, because a lot of the listeners, I'm imagining, may be new to the world of investing, and they want to go to someone, and they may have heard that they're not supposed to say the dreaded, let me pick your brain, like, oh, please don't say that.
Right.
A lot of people hear, so then they're afraid, like, how do I add value? How do I find out how to add value if I don't even know where the value is to add? How any ideas or suggestions to folks out there for that?
And we're talking, are we talking multi, or we're talking about in general?
Oh, I'm all over the place. I apologize. I'm just thinking about the route of people trying to enter real estate investing, the world, and that is a great point to bring up too, because often people come to us that are relatively new, and that's the one challenge, being able to help them realize, yes, you got to get in, get some knowledge, but soon you just got to latch on to something, because the great thing about real estate investing is there's so many ways to add value and make money. The challenging thing about real estate investing is there's so many ways to add value and make money. So you might go an inch deep and a mile wide and not get anywhere if you're just
right.
So
the first thing I do, like I did with my son's friends or anyone who comes to me, what do you know? First thing I ask you, what do you know about real estate? Tell me what you know.
Right. Okay.
Because once you tell me what you know, that gives me a stand for where you are and how much company. And then I ask, what do you like to do, or what makes you want to do this or think you want to do this? And then I ask them, what are you good at? Because you know, what you're already good at, it won't be as challenging. And then I try to present it in a way, like one of my son's friends, he came to me for wholesale, and he just, although he really doesn't want to wholesale, but he likes finding property. He likes getting $1,000 fee. Fine with me. That's his niche. That's what he like to do. I'm fine with it. You can send me, he sent me like 20 properties a day. I don't even have to leave the house. And he also does photography. So when I need something, pictures and stuff taken out, photography is what he does on the side anyway. So look, we need you to do, you know, our headshots, our office photos. You need to go take some pictures of this house. I can, you know, double dip. You know, I get a contract on it, and you can get paid for taking the pictures too. So that's what he likes to do. And he likes to just send me the houses. Hey, I'm good. I'm fine with that. You know, and like I said, my sister-in-law, she does Instacart and what are those, Lyft, and she just sends me properties all day. She drops people off. She's in different areas. That's what she likes to do.
So it's almost like finding that Venn diagram between like what you know, what you probably do know more than you probably think about if you've had any, you know, dipped your toe into the real estate investing, connected with what you like to do, connected with filling that possible hole of the person that you're trying to add value to. So if you see, hey, well, we know you're always looking for deals, leads, so I can add value by going and find the deals and leads, you know, for them. Or, hey, I see you don't post on Instagram. Hey, do you want an Instagram presence? You know, that's where everyone is. So maybe you're posting for them on Instagram once a week or whatever. There's so many ways that you could add value to folks out here.
And then there's one other important question I ask them: how much are you trying to make? Because how much are you trying to make tells me what you want to do. Like my son's little friends, like, $1,000 is good for me, 2,000, 3,000. Okay, well, you just find me properties and bring me deals, and that's good for you. But when somebody says, I want to know it, I want to learn it all, I want to, you know, do the whole shebang, then that's when we sit down and I teach them, you know, and see where their head is and see, you know, take them step by step, take them with me, do deals with them, do a first couple deals with them, walk them through it. They still call me forever. and it's fine. I mean, and it's fine because, you know, that's how you learn. Everybody learns different, you know, and like I said, a lot of times with people now, people attention span is short.
Oh my goodness.
So all these CDs and DVDs and all that stuff, they may be interested. They wanted it, but that's just not their learning style. But if I show them and teach them and take them along, they'll get it. But guess what? They are a partner for life.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't worry about what you taught them when you take them. It comes back. It comes back tenfold. I don't worry about any deals that I do with anybody. I'll do a deal with, if I have a buyer and I only make $1,500 off the deal. Oh, that's fine. But you come back to me for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 deals, and you may that one may have been 1,500, but you know your next one, who knows? And you don't worry about that. And I think that's in our culture, that's where a lot of people worry about. And you can't worry about that, because if you're good at what you do and you do it, you know, you're good at it and you have a relationship with people, you don't worry about that. I have so many people call me, I don't even know. People refer to me, I don't even know. You know, I hear you.
You put that value out there, it's got to come back. And you're showing it,
And I tell people, if people say, well, what do you do? I was like, what do you need?
I can pull it out. Yeah.
What do you need? I have real estate agents calling me all day.
Right.
And, you know, they all like, my client wants off-market properties. Okay, we do a thing. You let your client know that they're responsible for paying your commission.
And we can work. Putting in some hands there, folks who, hey, can you go back to that? So folks who are maybe who are into wholesaling or into real estate, go back, because there's a nuance right there. She just dropped some gems on how to set some expectations with who folks you're working with.
Because listen, if they bring a client to you that's theirs, they're already contracted with them. They're not contracted with you yet.
You're speaking about real estate agents.
Real estate agents. So you discuss with your client, you know, any off-market deals that we get, you're responsible for my 2.5 commission, my 3, whatever you're going to charge them, because they are contracted with you. Although you referred them to me, they are contracted with you. So to make sure that, you know, you get in, that way, whatever price I present, that's my price.
I got you. So there's no confusion or anything like that.
There's no confusion about that. Talk to your client about that first. And if you all are okay with that, then we can do business. But a lot of them just refer them and they haven't even contracted with them. Then we just work and I give them $1,000 referral fee.
I dig it. So so the world of working with agents and investors, it's a beautiful world, could be symbiotic. And
Oh,
if you are, that goes back to that reputation and living with integrity and adding value.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
you know personally, I don't have a problem. If I got an agent that needs something, you got something, I'll send it to you.
yeah, absolutely. You've been, yeah, and our experience has been awesome working with you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's so fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, my thing is, I know my lane. If I don't have something, and I know, and they still come back to me, even though I referred them to somebody else, because if I don't have it, and you have something that in the line of what they need, I don't have a problem passing it on and send it over. I'll call them in a minute, like, hey, you got something, blah, blah, blah. I know how to work my end, and I work it, and I never have to change our price. I never change our price.
I dig it. I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, it works.
So you just got to know how to. You just got to know how to work and have your relationship with your people, and have it up front. This is my fee. This is what it is, and
Right. And hey, we lead with integrity or honesty, and the folks
yeah,
that you work with will have to respect that. And if they
yeah,
did, that's that person you need to or want to work with anyways. And they see the value again that
yeah,
you're bringing. Like you're bringing value to either to the agent, helping them, find the property or the investment that they need, or the investor directly
yeah,
getting the property to them. So yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, so what are you doing right now though? What if people ask you what you're doing right now? I know what you need, but
What,
but folks are like, hey,
so
how can Tia help me, or how can I
I,
help her with services that she has? What does that look like?
well, I still do wholesaling. I do consulting. I do tenant placement. I do contractor referrals. I have a rapport with my contractors, where people I have reputable contractors who work I know and that are good and that are going to show up tomorrow and all the way through the end of the job, and you're going to get your money's worth. That was a need for the industry that was hard to find, and for people that's coming. A lot of people get into this, and you all know, if you've done any anything in Baltimore, you needed a contractor. You you know what I'm saying. So I do contractor referrals, but my deal is with my referrals. Like my plumber, he's had 20 people call him this week that I've referred. I don't have to ask him. I don't have to talk to him. He's dealt me a cut every time.
Oh wow!
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we'll be calling you about some contractors. Best believe that.
And that is something
Yeah.
that I think hasn't it's still like there are a lot of, like I said earlier, people willing to give knowledge. I don't know too many people willing to give out their
Contractors. Yeah, some people keep them close to the vest.
Yeah, and I understand that, but then you have to understand that I don't have one set. I don't have one group. And I also don't have any projects going on right now. So guess what? They're free to roll.
Hey.
But no, I have just collectively built a rapport with several groups based off of the need. We have, I'm sorry, my dog's up on him. Somebody's coming in the door. We have licensed ones. We have ones that's just do, surface work, cosmetic work, but they're all good and reputable. And I know I can stand on their work.
Heck yeah.
So I have that. So, and that works. I have a lot of, people who are from out of town, and who have projects here. And although they have a GC, I project manage over top of their GC.
Oh wow. And put the fee right there, right? Hey, wow. That's
because guess what? Your GC, just because your GC say he doing XYZ, that don't mean he doing XYZ.
I dig that. Heck,
so I'm coming past, especially when they know you're from out of town. They be like, oh yeah, this owned in Texas, this owned in Atlanta, this owned in California. Yeah. But here, right here, and I'm coming past every day.
I got lawyers looking at lawyers. I got accountants looking at accountants. Heck yeah, I got books looking at books. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, that's all right. That's
yeah. And it's a lucrative business.
That is peace of mind too that you would provide, or that you provide to so many, especially young.
I'm coming there, I'm FaceTiming them.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm looking at. They say, oh my such and such say he pulled permits. Okay, well we're gonna pull this up. We're gonna check and see what permits he pulled. And I say, hey, he ain't pulling no permits. Yeah. So you might want to go back to him and say, when they pulled, or is it coming, or did he say he's going to pull, or maybe you missed that little going to, because he ain't nothing pulled. And they appreciate that, and they know that, because once the work is done and they're gone away, that responsibility falls on you when it's time for you to get your property rented, sold, all that. And with all the knowledge and things that are going on now, people have that knowledge to look that up, and that may make or break a sale for your property.
Oh wow! Hey, you guys, it's resonating in the chat. Daya Cooper from Capital Dynasty says, love it, say less here. Emoji wink sign, I hear that. That's what I'm talking about. In fact, if anybody, we'll open it up. I don't even have my Facebook open, so I hope the live is actually working. I just hit the button up here, but perhaps Anita, if you see the Facebook live, if anybody in the chat over there or even here wants to unmute themselves and ask Tia a question or have the thoughts wide open, folks. So
I will check.
Yeah. So like I said, there's different avenues to approaching this and to do things. And so I saw that was a need. I saw that the contractors were a need, and a lot of people who didn't live here, who wanted to invest, but was just scared of that part, having a project being and going underway and them not being here to oversee it.
So there's a couple of things that I think I glossed over too fast. Well, one that I'm just going to come back and underscore that I hope we all are hearing, that looking for the whole, looking for where to add value, solve the need. Where's the need? So even right now, looking at what you're doing and like, if only we had this, and then, okay, well, why not? I be the one who provides this, and now I'm valuable. And that's really in any aspect of life or especially business, but also when you said, and it's going to underscore again that we're in an information age, and there's so many folks who aren't, who are from our communities who are either, when you look at real estate investors, it quite often aren't that many brown or black people or even women who seem to be in those positions just from the anecdotal glance. However, we have access if we have access to information. And again, I'm a director of diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's my other hat. So I definitely think about and understand systems and structures that can really challenge folks. And I also really understand the agency that we all have. And it seems like you have the mentality to recognize your own agency and your ability to, hey, if I can just get into these spaces to get the knowledge, that's what I need, So I really want to just keep underscoring, or we'll go back to that. Finding value, adding value, and go and get the information and having mentality that, I can take this knowledge and taking action and applying it is what's going to make it happen.
Yeah. And like I say, I know when I studied the avenue, I said, well, maybe I want to be a real estate agent. And a lot of people and a lot of investors think they want to be one. And I went through the course, went through the curriculum, and I got to a point and I said, yeah, I don't want to do this. I don't want to.
What made you not want to do that? Because I didn't know the difference. I didn't know the difference in all that stuff, But what made you not want to do it?
Well, I am a think out of the box person. So to be boxed in and to only have this one way and to answer to this one person and have to do this repeatedly this way, through this channel, through this broker, giving them a cut of all the work you've done. It was like, oh yeah, I don't
It'll add up my personality.
But the fact, I think what got me was when it said you have to be a part of a brokerage to keep an active license. I was like, have to. And it really doesn't sit well with me. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. And when I was 17 years old, I thought I wanted to do hair. Well, I did want to do hair. I love doing hair. That's what I wanted to do. And I went to hair school. You were supposed to have graduated and had your diploma, and then you're able to be accepted in Paul Mitchell and all them. I was going to high school in the daytime and going to Paul Mitchell at night. And they kept on saying, you need to bring your diploma in. You need to bring your diploma in. By this time, I'm in 10th grade. Then I got to 11th grade. I got to 11th grade and was about to graduate. And they were bought out by another company. They said, oh, we don't have your diploma on file. You might want to bring that in. I said, okay, I'll bring that in. And then look, and then 3 months, they was like, look, this your last day if you can't bring that. I was like, oh, I learned enough anyway. And at that time, hair school had taught you how to do nails. So I fell in love with being a nail technician. So I opened up a nail salon in my grandma's basement. She didn't know I had people coming through the back way, and I was doing nails. She was like, wait a minute, what's
talking about? Go get it.
And then I got too big. She's like, you got to get out of here. And then I went to a salon and was doing nails. And then I opened up my own salon and then had that for 8 years. And then once I knew that you could open up a salon and you don't have to be licensed just to manage and have it open, and everybody else had to be licensed. I was like, oh yeah, this is my
that's pretty
field.
awesome.
I already knew all the things.
You
but
had that spirit already inside you.
yeah, so when I studied the real estate exam, I was like, I gotta be affiliated with a broker. I was like, and then I gotta give them a percentage of every sale. It's like I'm the one that's going out to look at it. You know, I'm losing these clients, I'm paying the leads, I'm paying for the MLS, I'm paying, and the fact that you had to pay them whether you sold the property or not, you still have to pay them some type of fee. I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna be able to do this. So this is what I say. I'm gonna stick to investing because I can do all different avenues, do it the way I want, and keep that. And guess what? On my team, my partners, there are 3 real estate agents. That's my partners. I begged my sister-in-law. I said she's a buy the book buddy. She loved all this contracts and books. I said, why don't you go get your license? She did it. My best friend did it, and then we had another one. So guess what? Yeah, access to MLS all day long.
So not if you put someone else in the right, on your team, not how but who, right? Not how but who. A funny story. I don't know if Shanita might even jump in to say. It just reminded me of what you said about the hair and then the nail salon. Shanita's daughter Tanea actually is a senior in high school, and she actually for the last year, right, for about 6 months, so was going to after school taking classes to get her nail license. She has a Doubly Nails LLC, and she's out there doing it. So it's awesome that I feel like it's just dope that a child or student at that age would have the understanding, have like that delayed gratification, and you were doing it without even having the license or the diploma, kicking it down the road.
Back in the day with the kitchen beautician and the kitchen nurse, you could just come to the house and do things like that. But those 2 professions are recession proof. All through the recession, people still were getting their nails done. Right. It only listen, when the nail salon was closed, they were like taking appointments at the house, like one at a time, just wearing your mask.
Mask on anyway.
Barbershop, cosmetology, and nail technician are 3 professions that no matter what recession comes, always still stays in business.
So Tia, do you have a team with you, or do you employ other folks or contract other folks besides, when you're doing the contracting? Do you have a team with you?
I just recently branched out on my own officially in October. Again, I have so many branch outs, but yeah, branched out officially again in this capacity in October. So it started out as me and 3 partners, and then went down to me and 2 partners, and then me and 1 partner.
All right, so you all were partners, okay.
Yeah, it's just me and my partner right now, and and I have 2 virtual assistants. All right, but other than that. Yeah, so I don't advertise. I don't advertise anywhere. If people were like, "What's your Instagram?" What's yours? Like, oh yeah.
There it is. Hey, somebody want to add some value. Go get some folks. Hey, can I manage your Instagram account and teach me some stuff?
No, my son was like, "You need a TikTok." I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the world's trying to push everybody there. We try to have our presence.
But I like to, like I said, stay in my lane and do as much as I can for what I can do right now. Like right now, I know if I opened up those avenues, it would be more than I can handle right now.
Well, 2 VAs, what do they do for you?
My VAs just handle my wholesale side.
I got you.
My wholesale side of things, and they also a tad bit. One of them handles my tenant placement requests and that type of thing. And
you still have to, manage. I'm assuming you have to, manage and operate and be the, the leader and with and for them. And what I find ironic is, because I'm sure a lot of folks on here who have the entrepreneurial spirit can really relate to your, your story. I think I know I'm pretty much unemployable. If my employment is listening, cheers. I love y'all. But at this point, I'm pretty much and I've been that. When I look back, I've been that way. Yeah, I was out there pushing that lawnmower to down the street, setting up. I like to have my own funds, my own money, to be able to do my own thing and operate on my own time. And I was very industrious. But when someone asked me to do something, I don't know what, something clicked, and I'd be like, this stuff is like I was in sports, I was coachable in those spaces, but it's just, I definitely feel that. So, but eventually when you do this work, you eventually have people that are working with you so that you can, leverage systems to get, the results you need to get. So how have you been able to like transition, even if there are VAs over there? I'm sure you have to manage them. So how is that? What does that leadership look like? What is managing a team, even if as with the two people that you're working with?
Well, when I interviewed them, I had a setup and what I needed from them, and I needed to know straight off the bat if this would be something they would be able to do, and is this something that you're doing right now, or are you able to do this long term so we can build a rapport, and or you just doing something to get money now? And I asked that, and they were like, I was like, I'm looking for somebody. I said, I'm looking for somebody at least a year to 2 years, 6 months to a year trial basis. Will you be able to commit to that? And they were like, yeah. And then, of course, then we go over pay grade. Are you able to commit to that? And this is what I'm looking for. And I sit in probably on like 3 calls each. Like I sit in with them, do like their first 3 calls. I do it just to see, are you talking? And on there, on my ad, when I'm looking and what I require, do you speak fluent English? Because it's important for me.
I got you.
It's important for me that you don't get hung up on in the first 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah, that can
Yeah,
be
because and then people think about it and don't really think like that's time you still have to pay for.
right.
Whether somebody understood them or they really, were able to carry your conversation to the end. If you didn't check on that and that wasn't one of your prerequisites, then, you still owe them. You still have to pay them whether anything got done or not.
Right.
So I just finally feel like the lay that out. And I just got into that and it was like, the first 5 flopped. The first 5 VAs flopped because I didn't ask for anything, just basically like, oh, you're a VA, do you know how to do this? And then I got more particular, like, okay, I'm not asking the right questions. I'm not saying the right thing. I need to specifically ask, how long do you plan on working? Do you speak? And I wasn't talking to them to hear because I was like, they were like, oh yeah, they came back. I'm like, out of 1,000 leads, like they came back, like, oh yeah, nobody said anything or everybody hung up. I was like, why are they hanging up? Like everybody hung up. And I was like, let me listen in. So I started listening in on the first 3 calls or whatever. And then I was like, oh yeah, because I can't understand you. They didn't understand you neither. So they just figured you're a telemarketer.
That's so important to be able to have something in place where you're giving an opportunity for steady feedback. On our team, we have our weekly sales training. We have our weekly meeting huddles where we're trying to touch base but I'm glad you say that because going back, we'll listen to recordings and even I think our lead manager's up here. What's up, Rachel? Yes, she'll even help audit and listen to the recordings, but it is a tedious task that has to get done, because as awesome as our team members are, you can fall into a rut, and we do have like scripts and systems and ways of the sales process that needs to be honored, and we need to be able to trust that they're doing that. And it's like, and to be quite honest, you can't just give your task and then just leave.
Hands off. Yeah.
Hands off. You have to provide that. They have to be a part of you got to make them feel like they're a part of the team because they are giving you the space to do the things that you need to do. And you got to make them feel valued wherever they are. They're across the seas or if they're right next door. So so having those, I think I'm glad you highlighted that.
Yeah, but early on, a lot of people know that it's like, oh, I just need a VA, and then it's like you have to outline and be specific and intentional about what you're going after and what you need them to do for it to be effective. Because once you see money going out the door, and you're not getting anything, you're like, wait a minute, nobody answered, nobody can talk to you. I think, did we get some? You see like 50 hangups, like, why is everybody?
Yeah.
What's going on? And then I get anal. Was like, no, I just need to do it myself. Like, I don't know, they're not calling.
One quick tip for when you are sharing your processes and procedures is I would suggest anybody out there to document it like in a third person as if anybody is going to do it,
Right.
What's the objective of this task? What's the process for the task and the procedure? And then record yourself doing it, you can do it on Zoom or Loom or any of the, tons of stuff out there.
Right.
That way you have it already. What I'm learning now too, though, is I need to make sure I borrow from the world of education and from the coaching world and go ahead and have my stuff sequenced out, my onboarding, Right now, we may be transitioning with a really a key role, and so making sure that like I'm like, oh dang, what did they need to know first? What did they need to know second? What did they know third? What did they need to know? Is really maybe really help save some time. Go ahead and doing that. So I may borrow from the world that have a syllabus or something. But yeah, so folks, come on, y'all got Miss Tia out here. Does anybody have any thoughts or questions at all? I don't know, Shanita, are you on the Facebook at all?
I didn't see it, so I don't know if it was.
I'm like, where's the mute button on this thing? Because I don't even know how to open up the Facebook. So people out there in Facebook world, if you are connecting, thank you for that. But Tia, how can people reach you or reach out to you if they want to ask more questions or ask you to, can you help me? What do you do and stuff?
Well, if you're on Facebook, I am definitely on Facebook as my name. And yeah, I know. And I do have an Instagram page. I mean, I don't. I usually just promote community events and things that are going on in the community because I'm very active in all the communities that I'm not dedicated to any one neighborhood, although I do work in the 21216 area. Yeah, I am assisting the director with the development on West North Avenue in Coppin Heights District. So that's where I am, and I also am the chief chairperson for Community Land Trust in Coppin Heights. I'm bringing that this year to 2022. So I'm bringing Community Land Trust to that area. So I'm working heavily.
Wow! Oh my gosh! The whole I already knew we were going to stay connected, but I think can I pick your brain a little bit?
Yeah, of course. Listen, all is welcome. I mean, I believe in going to the underserved neighborhoods and doing what we need to do, what our ancestors and they worked hard to do. And I just believe in keeping a stake and having a stake. And I'll wholesale in the county to buy in the city all day long.
Oh, that's what's up, man. If people understand that, they just don't know. That's real, especially when it comes to making sure that the faces that look like they're in the city are also benefiting from the changes that are taking place in ownership and development. Specifically
exactly. And I don't know if anyone's paid attention. There is a huge shortage of rentals in Baltimore City right now. It's a huge, if you think about it and you look at, there's a huge, because right now the city is pushing home ownership. And so everybody that's pretty much doing redevelopment and everything, they're giving incentives for home buying.
Right. Yeah.
So there is that middle ground. People are like everything is so much going on and moving so fast. No one's paying attention. They're like, the rental is almost obsolete, or the price of rentals are so astronomical that it still pushes certain people out.
Oh, so I was say I don't understand what that indicates besides the displacement of people. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and because the Section 8 and everything, there are people like, the guaranteed income, they're giving it to them, they're giving it to people's, but under one condition, that they move in the county.
Displacement. Wow. Ready now to shoot these property values up and turn it into like what's happened in DC and every other metro areas.
Yeah.
We live in an information age, and we got you out here spreading the word and sharing. And I need to learn more. We need to learn more to be ambassadors and because representation matters. And until you in spaces and circles, you don't have that knowledge.
Yeah, even people like, there's a lot of grants for home ownership and this type of thing. And even if the criteria for grants and things in Baltimore City, it used to always be that there was a salary cap on how much you can make to utilize the grants. And that's why so many of our people still have that mentality and still think that, so they don't go after it, because they still think that, I make too much. If I make $50,000, $60,000, I make too much. But silently and quietly, they have removed the cap. There's no cap on income.
You just told me something new, because we were looking at different exactly, neighborhood revitalization. Oh man, so that, I hope that one's one.
There is no income cap. But what that means is others are able to utilize that to purchase the homes along with whatever incentives that their jobs and stuff are giving them. Hopkins is giving their employees $25,000 just to move in the city.
Yeah, right.
With their Live Near Your Work program.
Work,
and
yeah.
university meets, I think university has a
So-
17,000 cap or something like that. But they're able, but now, when they weren't, able to use grants and utilize grants and things, now they're able, since the no cap is gone for
No
the
cap.
income. Yeah, since the no cap is gone, they're able to use that in conjunction with the incentives that their employer is giving them also.
Wow. So let me ask you this, because I do want respect for your time, and
Yes.
But I have one question before wrapping up, is like that this knowledge and stuff that you're sharing here. How would you suggest to people to keep their ear to the ground? Like you gave out, you're talking about local newspapers and understanding like the big movers, but like how would you suggest somebody, because people might be watching this and they may be in a different area. How would you suggest they get the ear to the ground and be keen to what's happening so they can hopefully take advantage of it?
I tell all of my investors or my mentees, I tell anyone, any property that you buy or any area that you're interested in moving in, log in and be a part of that community association. Any property that I buy and I'm in Capitol Heights. I have a property in Capitol Heights. That's how I got onto with the Capitol Heights Community Association, because I bought a property in an area. Like, I remember this area. I grew up in here. Like, what's going on? Let's see what the community development team is going. And I saw what they were lacking. I saw a need and I stepped in and I gave it to them. So if you want to know what's going on, your community association sometimes has a lot of say on what's going on. And if there is a community association that does not, have an active development with it, then that may be something that you could be a part of. That could be a value that you could add to the neighborhood and have first say so.
Right. Wow. Make yourself valuable, but becoming it, create it.
Yeah. So join, because and it's easier now. Being as though since COVID came, you're able to tap in on what's going on, to log into. I'm on the community association Zoom calls, and I'm also, go to the meetings when we have them. But if you aren't able to, go to the Zoom calls, join their Facebook groups, know what's going on first in areas that you're invested in.
Don't even have to get out your seat. Come on now, everyone. This is no excuse.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Tia, I'm so appreciative. I know we're all appreciative of you. Dropped so many valuable views.
Thank
Rachel's
you.
there talking about OMG. It's valuable info for sure. It absolutely is. I want you to think about leaving us with one or something. And as I just, take care of a few things again, I just want to remind folks that the Aqua team is based out of Baltimore. Obviously, Tia, where are you working? Where are some of your markets if people want to work with you?
I'm all over. If it's in the city and it's undeserved, if it already has a low appraisal value and things like that, I'm working in the area to get that done and up.
So you see, she wants deals.
21216, 21215, 21213.
You got the
21217. Yeah.
And she's looking for properties over there. So if you know any properties that look like they need to be, send them to us. If you want to chat with us, check out our deals, and we'll love to work with you all as well. As abundance mindset, there's plenty of inventory out there. It's never going to run out of people who need to live somewhere. And so if you saw, you heard, she's abundance mindset. So let's support each other. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. It really helps us get the information out there, helps us add value, it helps bring more awesome people like Tia to you all to help you think about ways that you can, add value and to your life through real estate investing. So Tia, anything you want to leave the listeners with, the folks out here with?
I'm just saying, just know that this is always and always will be the way to generational wealth. Any billionaire, millionaire that you idolize, that you see coming up, they all have their hands in real estate in some type of way. All you need to do is have a little piece of it for yourself and for your family, and you'll never be broke.
Amen to that. Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna hit end, and we're gonna send this out. This will be we'll send it out next week on YouTube and blast it out so people can always have it out there. But Tia, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tia.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Rising tides, folks. Peace.
All right. Good night.
Night.
Good night.